Hello, everybody. Chris Davis here. This is the first of what will hopefully be many videos throughout 2015. Kind of talking about what I'm working on, what I'm doing, things like that. For many of you who have known me for a while, you know that I always have things that I want to be working on throughout the course of the year, but rarely actually get around to shipping a bunch of stuff. And 2015 is the year that I want to start changing some of that and really legitimately start to, you know, make some stuff. So as a part of that, I've kind of started off an initiative that I'm tentatively calling Year One. The idea is that every single year I'll choose one skill and try as hard as possible to come close to mastering that one skill. This year I am dissecting and learning web development. So I will be starting off with Ruby on Rails, of course, diving into getting good at friggin' front-end dev, which I've played around with for so long, but I barely know. It's unbelievable. So Ruby on Rails, CoffeeScript, everything front-end related. There's going to be some Meteor.js in there too, I promise you. Probably some WordPress because I don't even know how to do that. I'm so bad at this stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So as a part of that, I'm actually, as you can see over here on my computer, I'm in the process of trying to get a really dead simple blog up. It's going to be really ugly for a little while, I think, as I kind of use it as like a playground for the first couple of experiments around web dev. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. Next year will be something extremely different. Every single year from now until I die, hopefully I'll be working on learning new stuff. My only rule is, there are two rules for this Year One thing. The first one can never be 2 consecutive years about the same kind of thing. So like I can't study Ruby on Rails this year and then like Objective-C next year. It can be like Ruby on Rails, the next year might be like music, or maybe like memory in the brain, or maybe it'll be acting or things like that. Like just like all over for this is to go pretty much as crazy as possible and just learn a bunch of stuff. I have some notes. Let me make sure I'm hitting my notes on my letterhead here. Okay, Year One. Interesting stuff. I'm looking forward to that. There'll be a lot more. This is kind of a part of that. I'll be talking about things that I'm working on as I go about them. This is gonna be horrible. I'm really not looking forward to some of the things that I'm gonna have to do during this. I'm gonna have to be as honest and upfront as possible about how little of this stuff I know, and that's gonna be embarrassing. I've been designing for the web for a really long time, and it's gonna be super embarrassing. Gosh, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna learn, and that's what this whole thing is about. I'm really pumped though. As a part of all this stuff, I'm gonna finally invest a lot of time into my personal site, which has needed help for a long time. I've always struggled with it because I don't want my personal site to just be like just design work that I've done, because I don't want to be just a designer. Like I want to be other things. I'm interested in a lot of stuff, and I don't just want to be known as seen or recognized as somebody that just sits in front of a computer and makes things look nice. It's so much more than that, and I want to be so much more than that. I don't just want to be that one thing. And so I've always struggled with where a personal website often pigeonholes you, and I want it to be more. And so I have a couple interesting ideas that I'll play around with. I'm really excited about, really interested in. A couple of them are, there's going to be a logs section, like logs.christopherallendavis.com probably, or /logs or something like that, where I will have all of the logs of my personal data and stuff like that. So like things that I've eaten, and there'll be like food photographs for every meal. A lot of these things that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks now, logging like sleep, logging exercise, logging like all this sort of stuff. I think it's kind of interesting, and so it'll be kind of an open source place for you to see all of my logs and personal data. My 23andMe information might be in there if you're lucky. Blood test information, stuff like that, perhaps. So we'll see. I'm not sure about that stuff yet. There's still some like kind of gray area around securities and that, but it's an interesting idea. So that might end up in there. Also, like health, connecting, because this will be a great way for me to learn how to pull in APIs, uh, which is something I should totally know. But how to pull in APIs, so I'll pull it in from all these different health apps, Moves, like Withings, you know, Misfit, like all this other stuff. Pull in all this health data and show it all in one page on my website along with some other stuff. So I'm pretty pumped about that. As a part of kind of keeping up with personal logs and such, I have some fun stuff that I'm going to be focusing on too throughout 2015. So my whole focus is like learning development. That's where I'm going to put most of my time. I'm going to do very little side work for money and mostly do work for myself, which I'm really pumped about. But along with that too, I'm going to be working on, you know, my personal health, my personal fitness, things like that. Instead of having a lot of goals this year, I kind of have two frames of thought, come from two different people. One of them comes from at April 0 on Twitter. He framed this question a couple months ago. What would your life look like if your net worth and your health were directly correlated? It's a really interesting thought. And the more I think about it, the more I want that to be kind of a core tenet of 2015 for me is, what does it look like if those two things are correlated? Does that mean that I'll be healthier? If I also feel like it will help me be more financially stable, does it mean I'll be more financially stable if I'm healthier? I think that they're very interesting. It's a very interesting question. Because they're two things that we often feel like we don't necessarily have control over. So that's one. The second one is a question by Tim Ferriss in Tim Ferriss's book, 4 Hour Workweek. He asks, how would your life change now if retirement was never an option? So I'm 25. 2015 is going to be the year for me to really start keeping that in the forefront of my mind. If I never want to retire, or if retirement was never even on the table, how would my life change now? So a couple interesting things kind of go along with that. I have a couple fun toys that I'm excited about. This super awesome thing by OMRON, fat loss monitor. It seems super cool. It measures your BMI and your body fat, which is awesome. You just like hold it like this, and it measures it. Right now, I'm not doing too bad, much to my extreme shock. I am at 12.4% body fat, which is like a lot lower than I thought, and 23.0 BMI, which isn't entirely healthy. That's like, let's see here. So for males of my age, you should be up to a normal is like 8.0 to 19.9 BMI. So I'm high, 20.0 to 24.9 BMI. So I'm in like the higher range. I don't have much muscle. I think that's probably why, but that'll change. So this is cool. I'm going to be doing this daily or every couple of days, and I will put this kind of information up in the logs section of my website once that's up and running. But I'll be taking track of it in the interim. Also, this sweet looking little laser gun thing is some SKINFOLD thickness calipers, which is super cool. So the whole thought is like, as you're losing weight, you may be losing weight but gaining muscle. You use something like this to essentially measure your like skin folds. So essentially, like, you may lose an inch from your waist or an inch from like the inside of your thighs, even though you gain 2 pounds, because you gain 2 pounds of like water or muscle or whatever else it might be. So it's kind of a better way for you to get a better kind of view at what your actual health is. So I'm pretty pumped about that. These two toys are going to be a lot of fun. I've got a couple of more things coming in the mail from Amazon. Also, this is kind of my Bible right now. Really dig it. Tim Ferriss's 4 Hour Body. Such an interesting book, man. If you've never read anything by him, you've got to go pick up some of his stuff. It's so incredible. This book covers everything. It's all like diet, exercise, super cool. I absolutely love this book. All of his books, love them to death. I think they're super cool. I'm doing the slow carb diet that he outlines in this throughout 2015. I've been doing it now for a couple of days, and I really like it so far. I like it a lot, actually. So look into it. Totally dig it. Super cool. Okay, so that's health, 2015 kind of goals and thought initiatives or whatever. Personal site stuff, year one stuff. I think that's about it, man. I think I've covered it all. Look out during year one. I'll be doing hopefully podcasts and questionnaires and tutorials and all kinds of stuff. The whole idea is that as I learn it, I'm going to be sharing it so that you can follow along and learn too. Be doing that for everything that I do, whether it be web development this year, whatever comes next year and the year after that. There'll be video interviews, there'll be podcasts, there'll be all that kind of stuff. Just content, lots and lots of content around that subject, whatever that subject ends up becoming moving forward. So that's it. Day number 1. It's a little bit chilly out here in Louisville. I don't go back to work until the 1st. Had a great Christmas. Kind of loving having time off. This is really awesome. I wish I didn't have to go back, but I also miss working, so it's kind of a weird. All right. Maybe 1 or 2 people will watch this, and if you do, thank you. Leave a comment below if anything strikes you, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.